After being in a coma for 3 months, I leave the hospital only to find out that my husband had a gambling problem. My husband and I have been together for 7 years. Both of our jobs are full-time, but my job specifically requires me to travel a lot. I am probably home 15 days out of the month, and that is pretty hard on our relationship, but we managed to make it work. Because I work in the medical field, it is very hard for me to basically say no to taking jobs. Why? Because it is very good pay and it definitely helps us in order for us to be able to pay for bills and not be in debt. So my husband and I have our own checking accounts. We also have one account where we do deposit money so that we can pay our mortgage and our bills out of that specific account. Each of our accounts that are our own accounts we use if we want to buy our own things, if we want to pay our own bills, like our vehicles and stuff, because we do not share that. I have never seen an issue with the joint account. I know that my husband does spend his money very stupidly because a lot of times he gets a paycheck and by the next day he is completely broke and then he asks me for money. So one day that I had to travel for my work, I had to go to the airport. I always drive myself. So this day, it was about 9 in the morning. I drove myself to the airport. Halfway to the airport, which is about an hour away, I unfortunately got into a car accident. From that car accident, I ended up in a coma. I was in a coma for about 3 months, which was extremely hard on my husband. He was in and out trying to help me, of course, and then he also had to tend to the house because I wasn't there. So he had to clean and do all that, plus work, plus also take care of me being in the hospital, which I know it was a lot. It was a huge blessing because after 3 months, I was okay. I was able to actually go back home, and I was very happy. After a couple months of me being home, we started to get mail when my husband was at work, and I noticed that all the mail was how we were past due on our electric, how we were past due on the mortgage, and it was not just a little bit of money, it was by a lot. So I asked my husband, why are we so behind? I don't understand. I thought you were paying all the bills. I thought everything was fine. Why are we all of a sudden this backed up that now instead of me trying to be at home so that I could get better, I have to get back to work as soon as possible? But my husband's response to me asking him that question was, I have no idea. I was paying it. I trusted my husband. I wasn't going to doubt him. If he's saying that he paid it, then I had to get to the bottom of it. I started calling all of the companies, like the mortgage company, the electric company, and they all told me that no, they never received a payment, and it was pretty much around the time that I actually got in the accident. In my head, I was thinking that I would be able to use whatever was in my savings because I did have a good amount of money in my savings so that we could get caught up with all the bills. But then, when I checked my account, I had no money. I was literally at zero, and I could not understand why. Now, looking into my bank statements, I could see that there was a lot of cash being withdrawn out of my account. Not the joint account, my account. I asked my husband. He said he had no idea, that wasn't him, and so I said, who else could it be? You are the only one that had access to all of my information, all of my account information. You're the only one that can get in there, so who else could it be? As I'm trying to figure all this out, tell me why. I get a bunch of phone calls from credit card companies stating that I owe at least $10,000. Credit cards that I never took out in my name. They were recently taken out while I was in the coma. So after all of this information that I presented to him, he did admit he had a gambling problem. And he used all of the money, my money, our joint money, his money, and all the credit card money in order to pay for his gambling, which is not even halfway paid off.